The Trap Set will always be available for free, but we rely on donations from our listeners. Please visit our website at thetrapset.net and click donate. Subscribe to our show on iTunes, and if you enjoy what you hear, give us a review.
This is Joe Wong. Welcome to The Trap Set, where each week we explore the lives of drummers. I want to play something for you.
I wanna be a holy man. I wanna kill your pain with the wave of my hand. I wanna be the president. I wanna sign away your dead with the stroke of my pen. So don't tell me that I can never be like him. 'Cause ain't nothing, he just stay the same way it's been.
You're hearing Be Like Him by the Bell Brigade, featuring my guest, Barbara Gruska on drums. Barbara was born in Los Angeles to a musical family, and in 2008, she co-founded the Bell Brigade with her younger brother Ethan. While Barbara's drumming style is strongly rooted in jazz, she harnesses her considerable facility to create tastefully restrained backbeats that are both viscerally musical and intellectually exciting. Her role in the Bell Brigade isn't limited to drumming, as she collaborates with her brother on every part of the musical process, from singing to composing to arranging. Aside from her work with the Bell Brigade, Barbara's diverse list of collaborators includes Jenny Lewis, Inara George, and Larry Goldings. She's currently working on her solo project. And now, our conversation with Barbara Gruska.
My uncle gave me kind of like a hand-me-down Frankenstein drum set when I was 10, so I started playing when I was 10.
Was your uncle a drummer?
Yeah, my uncle, my mom's brother is a drummer, my two great-uncles are drummers, and my great-grandfather was a drummer.
Yeah, your great-grandfather played with Raymond Scott,
with
right?
Raymond Scott, yeah, to a whole lot of people, actually, but Raymond Scott was pretty awesome.
Who else did he play with?
He was... when he lived in Boston, like before they moved to the West Coast, I heard that he played with Ella, he played with, all the different jazz people that would come through, but not like, not, he was
the guy in the club that they would hire when they came to town.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to break away from the family business and get into something else?
Totally. I didn't think that I was going to do music until I was probably 18. I wanted to do other stuff in order to rebel. And then by the time I was 18, I was like, I'm spending all my time doing this, and this is really just what I want to do.
So you have at least one brother who's in the Bell Brigade with you,
yes,
Ethan. But did
Ethan.
you have other siblings as well?
I do. I have a 16-year-old brother who just got into Royal London Ballet.
Wow.
And he moved, is doing online schooling and moved to London a month ago, and he's doing ballet full time.
So you guys are a bunch of underachievers in your family.
Yeah.
Is that from like a second marriage for your dad?
Yeah, we have the same dad and a different mom, yeah.
Did your parents get divorced when you were young?
I was 11 when they got divorced. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, your dad was a film and TV composer as well,
yeah,
right?
Still is, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
So he must have been working on like 30-something or something like that when you were growing up,
well,
right?
you know the whole story, man. Yes.
Well, I'm in the same business to a lesser extent than your family, but I know about these people.
That's
yes.
exactly. He did 30-something in Lois and Clark, and when I was young, those were the main things. Sisters, this show from the 90s. And
did you think it was cool that he was doing that?
I didn't think it was uncool. It was just kind of like my dad's job,
Right. And so, yeah, we should say your grandfather was John Williams.
Uh-huh.
And were you close to him? Are you close to him?
He's so busy that we don't hang very much, but when we do hang, we definitely get along.
Do you get deep?
I mainly just, listen to his experience and what he has to say, and I feel that is very deep, yes. But yeah.
Do you talk drumming?
Yeah, actually. And he knows, like, has a surprising knowledge of jazz drummers. Like, he was talking to me about Kenny Clark this one time, and I was like, okay, because he really grew up during that time. He knows he can like burn on the piano. He's a crazy improviser too, which I guess a lot of people don't know, but
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There was never any like resentment towards your family, like, oh, you guys are so busy doing this all the time.
No,
I need more time to spend with you, or anything like that. You got it.
No, definitely not. Yeah, they gave me a lot of love,
plenty of attention.
Yes.
So, at around 15, is that when you felt like you were a musician? Like, did it become part of your identity?
I would say it became part of my identity around 18.
What happened when you turned 18?
I went to Oberlin College, and I started taking drum lessons from Billy Hart, who is an amazing jazz drummer.
Of course.
Know who he is.
So what's up with Oberlin?
Well, I only went
what's up?
Yeah, I only went for 1 year, so I'm not the authority.
Okay.
And I kind of ditched all my classes to practice drums and study with Billy and, learn from all the musicians and everything there. So I can't say much about it as a school because I really only played jazz and really not a whole lot else. I mean, I passed my classes, but I didn't get into them.
Lots of great drummers have gone to Oberlin.
Who else?
Like Brian Chase from the AAS.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
John Theodore from Mars Volta.
Awesome,
and
I didn't know
Golden
that.
And stuff. Did you feel like it was hard to connect with people there, or that just wasn't your objective? You were just there to woodshed?
Pretty much, yeah.
And then what happened after? You left. Why did you decide to leave?
Oh, how personal are we going to get here?
Well, you can get as personal as you want.
Okay. I was really depressed, and I was really in love with my first girlfriend at the time. And for a number of reasons, I felt burnt out on life and school and everything, and I needed to take time off, so I moved to New York.
Which is where your girlfriend was?
She was in Connecticut, which was a short train ride.
At Yale or something like that?
No, she was at Wesleyan.
Okay. With Anthony Braxton.
Yes, with Anthony Braxton, yeah. And I'm still really good friends with her. She actually...
Was she studying with Anthony?
Yeah, I think, yeah, she was. She's just going to laugh if she hears this. But
were you out at the time?
Yeah, I came out when I was 18, right before I went to college. Yeah. And
how did your family respond?
They were fine. They were totally fine. It was, that was 2001, I guess. So, and it was Los Angeles, so there wasn't like a huge backlash or anything, but it was definitely more, challenging in a handful of ways to come out then than it is now, I think.
Do you feel like they always knew?
My dad said that he was surprised, but my mom said that she always knew.
Okay.
I don't see how anybody could have been surprised because I felt very, very lesbian-y my entire life.
You were beating the shit out of the drums.
Yeah. I was just like, yeah, it seemed pretty obvious, but
These days you look for judgment in the eyes of every stranger, and you know it's the beginning of the end.
You go to Oberlin for a year. You're depressed.
Yeah.
You leave school. You move to New York.
Yeah.
And what was your next step? What were you doing in New York?
I answered phones and took orders at this place called EJ's Luncheonette, and I was staying at my friend's place in Brooklyn.
Were you there for 9/11?
I was there the year after. It was
Okay.
2002.
Okay.
I was at Oberlin when 9/11 happened. And it was just I was 19 and having my first real independent experience, and it was scary and incredible and totally scary. And then once I kind of figured that I needed to get more direction again, I had never heard of CalArts before, but somehow in research online, I heard about it. And
you grew up in LA and you'd never heard of CalArts?
No.
Okay.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Sort of.
I know. I had never heard of it. I went to a very academic high school, and so they didn't have any. We learned about colleges, that were not really art colleges, and so I applied to CalArts and got in early, and so I decided to move back here and started going there.
How was that experience?
Awesome. I didn't graduate, but I was there for a couple years, and that's where I'm still friends with all of the people that I met from CalArts. I've played in bands and, just worked with most of the gigs I've done have been with other people that I've known.
What made you leave CalArts?
I went on tour with this woman, amazing artist named Inara George. Her project right now is called The Bird and the Bee with Greg Kirsten. But she had a solo project. This was 2004, 2005 or something. And so I just went on the road with her. And
was that the first time you went on the road?
Yeah, that was the first time. And I literally just kind of got different gigs from there.
Did you have a plan?
No.
Are you the kind of person that just likes to let things fall into place, or
I don't like to, but I just
by
do.
nature? That's how you do it.
Yeah, I think so. I still get nervous about stuff, but I try to work through those nerves because I don't want to.
What do you get nervous about?
Just the umbrella term of the future.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what are your do you have specific concerns? Because I'll worry about specific things okay, what if I want to have a family? How do I have enough money? Blah, 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 those kind of things.
Yes, all that, definitely. My wife and I are definitely at a place where we're do we want to contribute to this population disaster? And I don't know if we will, so it takes away that worry.
Yeah, that's always interesting because the thing is, I think that the people that are considerate enough to have that concern are the people that should probably be having kids, right?
I don't know. I think if we had a kid, we would probably adopt.
There you go.
Yeah. I never wanted to birth a child, and I don't know if that's in store for my wife. I don't know if she wants to, but yeah. Gosh, I really don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Do you worry a lot, or is it manageable?
I worry a lot. Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't feel manageable, but
have you developed techniques for dealing with it?
Yeah, I definitely have different kind of meditations that I do. One that I guess is interesting enough to talk about is I just kind of, if I get stressed out by something, or if I feel that other people's energies are encroaching on my ability to even hear my own thoughts, I just kind of imagine myself suspended out very, very, very far away in space and surrounded by silence and nothingness.
How did you learn how to do that?
I don't know. It just kind of came
That's your
naturally
own
to
meditation.
me, and it just worked. And so that's what I do if I get overwhelmed by other energy.
Wow. And it works.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Were you raised in any particular religious tradition?
Yeah, I was raised Jewish, and I went to Hebrew school and all that, and I had a bat mitzvah. But once I had my bat mitzvah, I stopped going to Hebrew school, and I don't believe in religion or anything like that. But culturally, I was raised Jewish.
So do you still celebrate holidays?
Yeah, we'll go to my dad's house, and we don't go to temple or anything anymore, but we'll go to my dad's house and have a meal together for, high holidays and Passover and Hanukkah and all that.
Is your so both of your parents are Jewish?
No,
just your dad.
Just my dad. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what does your mom do?
My mom, she's recently. She actually started going to church. That kind of the church on Highland. It's kind of like a gay church. My mom's gay too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if she like identifies as Christian, but she loves the spiritual feeling. She's a very spiritual person, but I wouldn't say she's religious at all.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was raised in a more or less atheist household.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes maybe I'm missing out by not having that kind of a community or being able to go somewhere and having solace in a place. But I think it's probably outweighed by
a whole lot of
my rational mind.
Absolutely.
Which is probably my worst enemy too. So it's all just like a big clusterfuck.
It's a big mess. Yeah, totally. Which I feel like I feel like that I'm the same way, and I feel like I'm expressing that in this interview. The clusterfuck of my mind.
Good. That's what this show is all about.
Okay.
So your mom, wait, how old were you when your parents got divorced?
11.
11.
Yeah.
So when you were going to temple as a kid, would your mom just drop you off, or how did that work?
Yeah. She was cool with it. I mean, I think that was kind of a part of their agreement before they got married, that my dad wanted to raise his kids Jewish, and she was like, cool.
So when your parents split up, did your mom come out right away? Or did she know that about herself at the time?
I think so, but I think that it was definitely repressed because of the times. But she came out to me 3 years after they divorced, and I think that she probably came out to me and to herself at the same time,
And that's interesting that she always knew that you were gay too.
Yeah.
Like she could feel that energy, or she just knew you better than anybody else probably.
Definitely, I think.
So are you two very close right now?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Did she remarry?
Yeah, she remarried. She has a wife named Joan.
Do you get along with Joan?
I do, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's always terrible if one of your parents pairs off with somebody that's awful or that you just don't get along with.
I lucked out with that. I really like both of my parents' spouses. I love them, actually.
If you face life with a child and a wife who sleepwalks through your dreams into walls, you're a soldier of mercy, you're cold and you curse, you cannot be trusted.
This episode of The Trap Set is brought to you in part by our good friends at Tom Tom Magazine, the only magazine dedicated to female drummers. You can check them out online at tomtommag.com.
The Bell Brigade is you and your brother Ethan.
Yeah.
And your brother Ethan is significantly younger than you.
He's 6.5 years younger, yeah.
When you were growing up, were you close?
No, we weren't. We got close, I would say, when I was about 21. So I guess when he was about 15, we started connecting.
What was the point of entry? Were you getting into the same music at the time?
I think that it just, it was the first time that we both were the same height. Just more, he was approaching adulthood and I was just, barely there. And it was the beginning of the first time that we were both, almost adults, rather than him being a little kid and me being a bigger
big kid.
Little kid. Yeah.
When did you start playing together?
I guess he was 18 and I was 25. Did
it feel natural from the beginning?
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. I mean, when we first started playing together, I would say we were equal in our guitar skills, like just acoustic guitar playing. And within a couple of years, he picked up electric guitar and can totally shred. And he's like an amazing piano player too, like just from touring and playing and everything, he became just an amazing instrumentalist. And so it was really awesome to watch his growth in that way over the years of playing together. So it got more and more comfortable, actually.
Creatively, did it feel like you guys were on the same page from the beginning?
Yeah, it was kind of like I always looked at it like it never felt like this is my baby. It felt like it felt like an avenue, and we knew how to sync up on that avenue together really, really well.
Are you working on material of your own right now too, or for other projects?
With writing, yeah, I have a few different things going on. I have a great joke band called Zero Desire with my friends Inara and Alex, and I actually play keyboards. Inara plays drums and Alex plays bass, and we just write really kooky, sexually explicit songs, and that's really fun. And then, I have my own stuff that I'm just constantly, vomiting out like Jeff Porcaro and his lesson. And I'm writing a lot of just words without music right now. And I also recently just started playing with this woman who's an incredible tap dancer named Melinda Sullivan. And we just recently got together and just played duo tap and drums, and I think we're going to develop
Old
that
school.
more. Yeah.
Do you like to dance?
I do, yeah. I don't recommend that anyone watches, but I do really like to dance. I actually grew up being...
Are you good at getting into the zone where you're not self-conscious?
Yes, because I practiced that when I was younger, a teenager, because I was so self-conscious. I was the kid, I couldn't go to parties, too scared. I couldn't go to parties until my early 20s. I couldn't dance in front of people, way too terrified. So the way I practiced was I would turn on like Sly and the Family Stone and turn off all the lights in my room so I couldn't even see myself at all in the mirror or see my arms flailing around, and just get into it and get out of myself.
Is that the zone that you get into when you're playing a show? Do you get out of yourself?
Yeah. If it's on a good night, yeah.
Not every time.
It gets harder like when you're 70 shows in on a tour.
Yeah. But sometimes 70 shows in, you're sounding really good.
You're sounding good, but the feeling, the excitement feeling, and the trance feeling, I have to figure out a new way to find that. I have to find a new relationship with it.
Like by doing heroin first?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, or like in the middle, have somebody run over and
shoot it up.
Yeah, yeah. Blow a line of coke up my butt.
I like the way that you just said that. No way, I'm not cutting that out.
I've never done that.
Have you ever thought about doing voiceover work?
I've never thought about it, but I would have a blast doing it because I've definitely got some voices.
It was like a movie, watching her eyes read. What I wrote made sweet Louise feel weak in her knees. And I thought that everyone would know by now. I've been alive long enough to know how things just get around. And everybody probably thinks I'm crazy. Well, I'll just tell you now that I fell in love, and I couldn't help myself. I just fell in love.
This episode of The Trap Set is brought to you in part by our good friends at CNC Drums. I play CNC drums, as does our guest today, Barbara Gruska. CNC Drums, handmade drums from Gladstone, Missouri. Check them out online at cnccustomdrums.com.
Have you met lots of drummers that meant a lot to you?
I met John Robinson, which was awesome. I mean, grew up.
JR.
Yeah.
I was going
I
to
met
take
Purdy.
lessons from John when I first moved to LA a few years ago.
Cool.
Like I was like, I should try to take lessons again. Why not?
Yeah.
And like, I was like, I want to work on my pocket. I'll work with him.
Why not?
So he was like, yeah, let's do it. But then he started getting busy. I think after he played on that Daft Punk record, then his phone started ringing more
Just blowing
again.
up. Totally.
That's my guess. Because he seemed like he was going to do it, and then I just never heard back from him.
How do you get I would be so nervous to just go out and put myself out there and call people. How did you just say to yourself, "Oh, I'm just going to do this"? Do you get nervous when you call them, or
not much.
you're just cool with it?
I feel like I just really have an interest in people, and I want to connect with people.
And
that's
they-
what this
and they
show
like that,
kind
yeah.
of like. I don't know if you feel this way, but like hopefully, what this show is about is that it's almost incidental that we're both drummers, but it's a platform that we can use to connect instantly in a personal way that you can't necessarily connect with other people that don't do what you do.
I really like that.
So that's the goal. That's
Yeah.
the objective. But yeah, so you would get nervous?
Yeah, I think probably. I don't know if I'm opening a can of worms here, but there might be, some societal, gender issues at play inside of me. Maybe I have a voice somewhere that says that, I can't do A, B, and C. I don't know if that's true, but it also could be just general people anxiety, like social anxiety.
You still feel like there is like a cultural tide that you're somewhat swimming against by being a drummer?
Honestly, I really didn't used to feel that way. I would say only very, very recently have I started to kind of see through different things. Just how to say it, see through some of the just conventions that I feel like we're just subliminally taught. And I don't think that, I don't know if this is because I'm a woman, but I definitely, I definitely think that I feel that I have to reprove myself every time I play with somebody, because I definitely get the feeling if I walk into a room and people don't expect me to, be able to play. And so I have to.
So then do you feel like that causes you to play in a way that you wouldn't naturally play?
I think that it causes me to be anxious and obsessed with practicing and staying on top of my game. And so what you're asking me is maybe that would encourage me to play in a show-offy type of way in order to say, hey, check this out. Perhaps. But I don't think that happens. You know what? That doesn't happen on the gig. I will say that if I go into a rehearsal, like recently I went into SIR, and when you walk in and there's all of the crew guys, and they've worked with all the best drummers in the world and everything, and you go in there and it's like, okay, these guys think, I just feel like they think that I'm some kind of twerp or this or that. I just get that feeling, and I'm like, okay, let's just blast this out of the water. When I sound check, when I play, I'm gonna show them that I'm not, what I feel like they think I am. And then when we start actually playing music, I don't have to do that.
Do you ever feel like resentment towards yourself for feeling the need to prove yourself to these idiots to begin with?
Absolutely.
Like, why should I have to... Wait a second. Why am I trying to prove myself to some douchebag that works at SIR?
Dude, completely. Absolutely. And
then the cycle continues.
Yeah, well, sometimes I don't, if I've done my, suspended in outer space meditation that day, I don't have to do it. But
do you think that you're any more or less compassionate with yourself at this stage in your life than you have been in the past?
Way more compassionate. Yeah.
How did you get there?
I think that going through, a lot of the painful experiences that, are concomitant with life, kind of can lead you in one of two directions, which is to hate yourself more or to really try to not hate yourself. And do
you think that's a choice, or do you think that certain people just
I think
have
that
makeups that are conducive to one path or another?
I think that if you don't have some kind of mental illness or chemical imbalance, I think that it is a choice. Definitely.
Is there a point that you made that choice that you can think of, or is it more of like a constant thing where you're always making lots of choices?
Constant thing, always making a lot of choices. But when something really traumatic happens, you realize that if you're not gentle, the world's not going to necessarily be conscious of being gentle towards you. And so you have to, in order to take care of yourself, you have to be gentle towards yourself.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever gotten to a point where you've become disconnected with the ability, or there's been a disconnect, and you haven't been able to express yourself?
Definitely. If I get depressed and shut down, that happens. Yeah.
Do you experience depression a lot?
Yeah. I don't have like a chemical imbalance or anything like that, but I definitely, I think I'm like a depressive type of person. Yeah.
When did you acknowledge that to yourself?
Young.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of, you've been dealing with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it helps. Like, it helps to have strategies to get yourself out of that.
It does. And drums really, really, really help me, and they always have.
So you're not supposed to just pull yourself up from your bootstraps like I try to do?
I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is.
My strategy is always to just bury my feelings deep inside and kind of press on.
Yeah. I've definitely done that.
I'm kind of kidding.
Seems like you're pretty in touch, man.
Well, that's what this show is about.
Is this our therapy?
Yeah, that's what some people have said.
Yeah. When I first came in here, I was like, whoa. I felt like I was going to cry at first because of stuff I wanted to say and then didn't end up saying. I was like, this is a good interview, Joe.
Okay. Well, I think we've just about covered everything there is about you, right?
Yeah.
Barbara, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me, Joe.
The Trap Set is produced by me, Joe Wong, along with Chris Karwowski, who also edits the program. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at The Trap Set, and visit our website, thetrapset.net, to subscribe to our show for free. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please donate to our show. If you can't afford to donate, please tell a friend and give us a good rating on iTunes. Send your feedback and guest requests to thetrapset@gmail.com.